I mean, I'd love to see the statistics from every single sport. Whenever you've got a best of 7, surely a person who's 3-0 goes on to win 99.8% of the time.
Yeah, let's not do the math, Drongo, but a lot.
It's very high, it's very high. But you can see that we've got that beautiful winter background at the moment. Obviously, we're going to be going on to Gorge. It could be a biome where they've got the winter there, or we could be seeing something a little bit more sunny, maybe a little bit more Mediterranean. I don't know about you, Nilly, but I've been loving the new biomes that have been brought through for Age of Empires 4. Yeah.
Crazy good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 1 of your first semi-final. Spawning in on the south side of the map, playing in the color blue. As the French, it's LucifroN.
And in the yellow, in the top, flying in over from Greece, playing the Holy Roman Empire, his first pick, TheMista.
What a tough matchup to begin. Now, keep in mind, this is a best-of-5 series, so look, even if it doesn't go his way, there are plenty more games in this series, but we can see an interesting stat right there. During the RedBull Wololo Legacy main event, the French and the HRE Empire have both been drafted 23 times, so despite the different patches that we've seen, they still are the middle of the pack, I guess. Actually, they'd probably be quite high on the pick rate.
Let me think. I think it's like 24 sets that we have seen so far, right?
Yeah, so they've got to be picked a lot, yeah?
8, 4, 24. 23 out of 24.
Not too bad.
That's a lot.
That's not too bad. I reckon that's got to be the top, right?
Yeah. Oh, but we had double drafts as well.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
So it's not really that hard. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about this matchup. Typically in this matchup, the French are considered to be the hot favorite. I'm talking like 65% hot favorite. That's pretty hot.
65 degrees is hot as well. And LucifroN, with French, obviously he could go into Royal Knights and therefore take a lot of map control. And HRE, typically, they try to thrive like by expanding, getting their deers, getting their relics. But with so much map control that French typically get, that's becoming incredibly tricky.
Yeah, I think for me the question is what way is Mista going to play to get inside the mind of LucifroN? Because if LucifroN plays this standard, you can expect that players of an even level, it should be French winning most of the time. So Mista's really got to try and think outside the box. What's he going to pull here? My suspicion is we're probably going to see an early second town center out of him. It can be very hard to deny that with early aggression, as long as he goes racks first, gets 1 or 2 spearmen out just in case, then goes for that second TC. But it can be a bit hard as well, because if by the same token LucifroN looks to get really aggressive early on and gets that archer up in his face, how does he defend against that?
Well, then he needs to go for horsemen. Mista knows, okay, lots of aggression likely to come from my opponent. And he realizes, I rather want to have my resources under the town center. That's why he went double scouts.
Oh, interesting point. Yeah, double scouts. Can we take a look at the POV from TheMista and just get an idea of what his line of sight is? Yeah, look at that. Beautiful job by him. How many sheep are we talking? It's not a huge amount, is it?
It's not crazy.
Yeah, you don't get...
6, we had some before.
9.
Feels like 14-ish against 10 then, likely.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I think that against the French, it makes a lot of sense, right? You want to keep everything under the town center. You want to keep it nice and safe. You don't want those villagers out on the berries. You don't want them on the deer. You want to stay under here as long as you can, but it obviously slows you down.
School of Cavalry with 5 villagers here, typically, or very often we see 4. LucifroN wants to get those knights out a tiny bit quicker, but Mista already evacuating the gold spot. Will be tricky for LucifroN to find a lot of damage with only some knights, because everything will be so clumped up together.
This is a crazy fast age up. I don't think I've ever seen an age up this fast at all in a competitive game. 342 for the French with a knight clicked up immediately.
Crazy clean build up here. 3 on gold, now sends 2 more. Thinking about going for chivalry after that. Typically we only put 4 on there, so that's the move around. Also interesting to see when he might go for wheelbarrow.
Yeah. I guess that's probably going to be on the back burner for the moment, isn't it? Because his focus right now is just on taking out TheMista as soon as he can. And remember, we've seen him just repeatedly destroy people just through micro of the knights. So yeah,
look at that scout positioning, overseeing everything. Such a good positioning. Goes to the left-hand side, sees if there might be an expansion towards the deer. Obviously knows extra town center won't be an option now.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if this scout moves like in 30-40 seconds to find out if LucifroN is adding an archery range.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. But we do see he spots that out now. The barracks coming down straight away. The key here is just going to be about keeping track of where that knight is at. But interestingly, doesn't bring the scout forward with it. So right now he's playing in the dark. That knight could be hitting the gold line. It could be hitting the wood line. He's really got no clue, but obviously sees the scout from his enemy, so knows that it's probably coming around in that direction.
Spearman not very early. Let's take a look. Knight is coming in. Scout from the left-hand side. This could be a villager kill.
Yeah, this could be really bad. And
pulled them.
He's so quick, isn't he? Just straight onto it and onto the straggler trees. Keep in mind, in the most recent patch, straggler trees are a lot closer to your town center. So it's very efficient for you to be onto these. And beautiful timing here from TheMista, right? Just brings the villagers in just to make sure that the spearman's out. And we do see, is that a stable getting dropped down as well? So going to be opening up just on the one base play here.
And it's still incredibly efficient, right? The distance is pretty short. We are close to the Aachen Chapel.
Yep.
So this is like very, very close. Spearman takes some damage against Knight. Can be healed by the Prelate. Obviously, you lose some efficiency, but seems like a very reasonable defense here by TheMista.
Yeah, he's doing the right thing here because he wants to try and trade as much health as he can on those knights, and even just trading one for one. Sure, even if he loses the spearman, it's actually not that bad because the unit costs a lot less. You just got to be careful that later on in the game you don't start taking those trades as often. But for the moment, it looks like his defense is going to be pretty solid. You mentioned wheel barrier earlier. I think it might be coming through any second now for LucifroN, and he's really had to move over quick onto the berries. There's a distinct lack of sheep here for him.
That's because TheMista played the 2 scouts, so nice advantage there. Not only getting more sheep, but also taking sheep away from his opponent.
Yeah, we can see he's still got plenty of sheep under the town center, so he's happy to camp up here for days. But LucifroN is now taking stone as well. So the second TC, we talked about it before, we're able to jump by the perspective of TheMista and see exactly what he sees. So he doesn't actually spot the stone out just yet.
And I said, like, this scout is likely to move, right? And I still would have liked to see the scout move. He now sees 2 on gold, so he knows, okay, constant knight production, not a thing. But he didn't confirm. Are you going for more archers, or are you trying to add a town center? Would love to see him get that intel.
Yeah, but we can also see that Mr. has now got cavalry out. So horsemen are on the field. Can we double check? I don't think LucifroN's actually picked up a range just yet, but hold on a minute. Look at that, just getting a little bit of damage onto that villager. It doesn't die, but guess what? Round 2 comes around. Good night, sweet prince.
Should be moved away there if he wants to force LucifroN to take some more hits. Knights are getting scared away. 2 horsemen out now, trying to find some damage through the center. Obviously, the stone, unprotected right now.
That's exactly it. It's quite far away as well, up on the hill. Makes it even harder to defend, and you can see that Mr. at the moment, he's focused very heavily on wood. So what he might look to do here is just almost take, all of the villagers from wood and then move them over to stone. That way keeps them all together, everybody's nice and safe.
Town center likely in the deer spot. Indeed, that's happening at the left-hand side. Scout should instantly see it, but pushed away by the knight.
Yeah.
But the 2 horsemen, where are they? Oh, they're chilling more. They're at the left-hand side, they're trying to regroup. Okay, could be maybe a villager kill.
He's looking for it. He's gonna come through. So I think he might be able to get a villager kill or 2 here. He's also distracting the knight. Does actually lose the scout, so a little bit of a mistake there from TheMista. Losing the scout that early in the game to a knight. Very, very much avoidable. Horseman coming down the hill though. A little bit of a party. Archers out as well.
It's a bit out of position. Oh, misclick was attacking the town center there. Villagers are being pulled.
But this is a good little delay that he's got, but obviously you want to avoid having too much. And nice little micro back here for Mr. as well. Able to pick up the knight, do a fair bit of damage onto that. One more shot, and that might be going down. But now Spearman also going to be coming in for Mr. This is where it starts to get hard, because once those spear are in, it is going to be all over for those knights. And oh, Mr. looking very solid right now, hitting all of the horsemen. On top of that, Archer taking it out the town center. It's going to get up, but it's looking doubtful as to whether it comes up without losses nearly. Oh, it's close. It is so damn close right there.
2 villages down. Some of them went into low HP. The knight is trying to run away as well. Now pushed away from the gold. Scout goes down, and Mr. has to be happy with this aggression.
Definitely going to be happy with that aggression. That was beautiful stuff. And look at this, got a single scout just harassing the villagers for now. But had Mr. moved out with those spearmen even 5 seconds earlier, that town center may have gone down. Or, he might have need to have brought more villagers to help assist. But already we can see that at the moment, LucifroN definitely on the back foot. So I think for Mr. there's 3 different ways he can approach this. Number 1, look to try and play it heavy feudal, maybe go for a bit of a ram timing, something like that. Number 2, he can look to add a second town center himself. Or number 3, he can go to Castle Age. Where does he go from here? That's going to be the question, because it's difficult, right? Because now the burden is on you, because your enemy's made the second town center, so you have to react. If you don't, you're just not going to be scaling.
And where are we going is the big question. The thing is, LucifroN, he still has those knights out, and Mr. is scared. Look at this heavy farming in Mr's base. That's something we very, very rarely see. We're 10 minutes into this game, and he's looking at like 12 farms already.
Yeah. Increasingly, we are seeing this more often, though. So I called this out not too long ago, but then I noticed that players were doing it regularly as the Holy Roman Empire. It seems to be the only Civ other than the English that wants to go for it early, but nice little raid coming in for Mista. Going to get a bit of idle time here. Keep in mind, no Spearman out just yet, either for LucifroN. Once he starts mixing those in, it's going to be a little bit harder for Mista to get all of these little raids in, but walks away unsuccessful.
Beautiful pull there. LucifroN not losing a single villager there.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Knights are pushing this away, still some harassment at the front, but economy has to be better for LucifroN. Obviously, he's working on basically what we call 2.2 town centers against only one of the Mista.
Yeah, but keep in mind, he's also spending extra resources on creating villages. So Mista, all of those resources that he's got, he's going to be putting straight into military. But another raid coming in once again.
But so close to the town center, won't find the kill there. Knights are still pushing away. Chivalry cannot be afforded. Now this mining camp burning down. That's a tower pretty far away.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what this is all about. What is he attempting to achieve with this? Because this shuts down the gold that's on the front side. Is he maybe thinking to try and stall him out from gold, potentially?
But this early, such a big wood investment? Is this maybe a setup to get a relic in there?
It could be. It definitely could be. I'll be curious to see whether he gets arrow slits on that or whether he saves it for a springald. If he's saving it for a springald, it's definitely for a relic.
Right now, not on stone, so isn't going for arrow slits, at least in feudal age. Get some upgrades there for the armor against the town center fire. Now heavily on gold.
Yeah. He's just moved villages.
Stone. Oh, that's arrow slits. Not arrow slits, that's springalds, right? Because he won't... I'm not sure when he can click up.
He'll click up very shortly. If we actually switch it over to the village account, we'll see that there is a lot of villagers right now on gold, 9 villagers on gold. So don't be fooled by that 170 gold. That's very quickly going to be doubled, tripled, and he's going to be up to the next stage.
But out of reach of the Aachen Chapel. So gold income won't be super pretty. Maybe even building a second prelate could have been an option. Wants to go for more. Anyways, this has to be Regnitz Cathedral, right?
Yeah, you would think, especially considering that LucifroN's gone for the double TC, so the likelihood that he's going to follow him up so quickly, it means that it makes a lot of sense to do that. The one thing that he's got to be super careful of is that LucifroN's timing is going to be coming in shortly, and if LucifroN starts adding Arax in, it's going to be very difficult for Mista to defend, because he's going to need to add in his own archers. It's going to look terrible for him.
Is that wall to the edge? That has to be a whole jungle.
It looks...
This has to be so open. Like, it's visually open.
It is, yes, it is. A little bit concerning, though, for Mista to be doing that, but nice raid coming through. I love that he's got the spears here as well, so LucifroN's going to need to bring back the archers, doing a decent job, and look how he focuses down the spearmen.
Saved again. Look at that. Only 2 villager kills, and those were the one under the town center.
Yep.
Mista was so active, constantly losing HP, but he's not finding the real kills.
Well, over towards the front side, we got ourselves a little more kills coming in, and now the barracks is getting thrown down. So this is exactly what LucifroN needs in this position. It's going to help him. It's going to help him because he spent so many resources on villagers. He needs to try and find a way back into this on the military count, and that's going to be through the racks. So very smart, but obviously Mista scouts that out. So don't be surprised if we see a range coming down on his side.
Regnitz Cathedral is indeed the choice, 11 villagers, and then we're probably going for some knights. And this could be a crazy, like, I'm trying to starve you out, going for lots of towers play. Because we mentioned it multiple times on this map. You're spawning with one major wood line behind your town center.
Yeah.
But then it gets really tricky. Look at this one. This one has like 4,000 wood. On the other side, it feels like even less.
Yeah, it looks like we might have a bit of a battle unfolding on that top side. Fortunately, play is heading away. It looks like just a single horseman going down. But you're 100% on the money. He needs to start thinking about securing an additional wood line. There's plenty of wood down here for LucifroN, but for Mista, yeah, not so much for him. So he's just got a couple of toughs up here, but the age up has come through. Let's see where he goes from here and what his plan is. He's got 2 prelates out at the moment, so likely going to be moving out onto the map, looking to secure those relics. He's already got the outposts built, so it's going to be easy for him to bring those in, and you can see him rallying those prelates through.
Regnitz Cathedral built very far in the back, so wants to make sure that that landmark is not going down. Those towers, not doing too much, trying to rush to... Oh, spring placement. I think we won't finish that.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely that one comes through. But fortunately, he does have the wall up on that top side. So it means that those 2 relics above the wall should be safe keepings for him. This one on the south side, though, probably a little bit more open,
Yeah.
but does have this relic that's nice and easy to plop down for him. So it should be 4 out of 5 relics, which is about the best you can hope for as the Holy Roman Empire. Obviously, you'd love to have 5 out of 5, but getting that one on the backside, it's very, very difficult. But once again, another cleanup coming through nearly.
Well, 4 sounds even optimistic in my books, right? The one at the right-hand side is protected with a knight. Left-hand side is pretty close to LucifroN space. Feels like 3 is the one, but look at that. LucifroN also trying to protect this left one here with the knight. Very aware of Mista's plan.
Yeah, I think Mista should be more than capable of dealing with it, though. He loses one prelate here and then sends out his army towards it. And speaking of sending out the army, take a look at that. We got the knight getting surrounded by a whole bunch of horsemen, and he's just going to get cleaned up on the backside as the spearmen come through very nice and heftily. But we do see fortifications coming out as well. So he left this initial outpost. The secondary one in the middle here is going to get some fortifications, though. Sprinkled replacement already through.
And then potentially even taking this sacred side. Could give him some control. First shot fired. But LucifroN, here's a scary army. Might just push through the center. We need more knights. And oh, look at that. A feudal push.
Okay, interesting. And Mista is adding in barracks at the front. Now, keep in mind, he's got the emergency repairs that can always come out here and defend, help him stay alive a little bit longer. It's going to delay that push from inevitably hitting the more critical infrastructure. But it's still going to be tough. So where does he go from here? I suspect probably into knights. And we do see he's at 4 knights already. Men-at-arms also going to be a really good option for him. But keep in mind, with the presence of so many knights out on the field for his enemy, it makes it a bit harder to hold on.
A defensive tower with the relic inside could be really good for this defense. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting push. The barracks at the front, even with the emergency repair. You're just researching men-at-arms. I'm not even sure if this can really get into proper production.
Yeah, well, the knight's coming around from the top side, but at the same time, towards the bottom side, the horseman coming through. Beautiful surround right now from the Mista. He's got plenty of units trying to just mash it in there right now. He's looking absolutely perfect. At the same time, the battering ram's going to be focused down by the villagers. Sprinkled replacement still firing off. Battering rams focusing towards that outpost, but take a look at this. 3, 2, 1. There's the fortifications. You ain't going anywhere. He's got emergency repairs for that as well, but LucifroN still looking pretty solid on this front line, but do not discount those armored units from the Holy Roman Empire. They're looking strong. He's got the defender's advantage. He's holding on, and he's looking pretty solid right here, but the knight numbers for LucifroN still looks decent.
Oh, but this was a massive push that needed to pay off for LucifroN. And right now, there's not a lot of stuff left that isn't archers. No more rams as well. The tower will help out. I think Mista's holding here.
Yeah, keep in mind, he's got the sprinkled in placement on that outpost. It is not going anywhere. You're going to need 7 rams to take that thing out. And he tried with 2, and I'm not sure if you saw the pathing on it, but it wasn't the easiest.
Yeah, I felt a bit like traffic jam with only 2 rams.
Yeah, it was not solid. So
I heard the second one honking.
There were loud noises, that's for sure. So I think the question is, at this point, though, where does the advantage sit? Who has got the larger advantage? Because Mista's picked up that 3rd relic now. He's got 3 in the bank. They're pumping out non-stop gold. Keep in mind that Regnitz Cathedral doubles up that gold bonus. So he's sitting on 240 gold a minute at the moment, but that should be doubled because he's got the Regnitz Cathedral. So there you can see 478 gold a minute.
240 times 2, 478. Okay, math checks out.
Does he not have a relic inside that outpost on the front?
No, he didn't. He put it in the back. Obviously, like 3, he would be losing gold, right? But I also felt like could have been a nice addition. Maybe he was scared that it might get sniped.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. He's fearful that it's going to get sniped, but we can see him now focusing down the units on the backside. So smart as well. Hopefully going to focus down, the low health units on the back. So just looking to take out all of the archers. So with him taking out archers, that opens up the possibility for a mass spearman play. And we can see he doesn't actually have a whole lot out at the moment.
Mainly goes for men-at-arms right now. It doesn't look like he has the craziest production. If 6 men-at-arms are in the queue, what is the barracks count here for the Mista? I'm scared. Has maybe only 2. No, okay, 3. Reasonable amount. Oh, but miscue potentially. Yeah,
a lot of men-at-arms. Look at the number of men-at-arms that are coming out right now. And he's actually picked up the heavy maces upgrade by the look of it. So that's going to mean even more damage to those knights. I'm curious exactly how much damage, or how these trade up against the knights, because typically you think of knights as these very effective counter units against the men-at-arms, can very easily get through the armor of them. But with the heavy maces, they can fight back.
So many sprinkled emplacements everywhere, just always finding damage. Now the knights are getting in. Should just micro back. Archers under the tower. Feels like a bit of an overstep by LucifroN. Has to disengage.
Well, he's still got the villager lead. Keep that in mind. He's up on a 35 villager lead at the moment. So I think Mista's probably got to try and find a way to get to Imperial to really maximize his efficiency here. But LucifroN's putting the pedal to the metal, and there's no sign that he's even thinking about the castle age.
Oh, and tries to commit here. That tower will help out, but big hit against it. Men-at-Arms are coming over for the save.
Yeah, beautiful front line from here. But Men-at-Arm numbers, they're looking good. Emergency repairs not going to be coming out, it seems. Indeed, the outpost is going to be going down without the use of emergency repairs, and the Men-at-Arms coming through. I don't know whether these guys have got their marching drills just yet, Nearly, but they're looking pretty solid.
They have it, but it's not really activated, not really chasing down. The relic at the top is going through, and LucifroN, he's splitting his army. Is disengaging with the archers and the knights. They are looking for some raids, probably into the woodline.
How are you feeling about the position of TheMista at the moment?
I think I like his position. With 4 relics, we are HRE. Opponent is still in fuel late. Yeah, don't look at the top and look at the 30 villager difference. I think he held quite some aggression. His opponent's still in fuel late and no gold income right now.
Yeah, that's a great point. So we were talking about potentially looking to secure those gold mines. Obviously, the outpost does go down, but you can see where his thinking was. Knights making it through now onto the farmlines. Got to be super careful. Not a lot of units back here to save him, but Townsend are going to keep firing down upon it. Might need to drop a couple of outposts down here, but we did see a spearman in there, so it looks like the villager count should be okay. Men-at-Arms on the other side of the map, though. Mista just really looking to be quite aggressive here. Villager kills looking pretty solid for him as well. He's taken out 13 so far.
Yeah, had some losses as well against those knights here, trying to push it away. Obviously, lots of towers still helping out with the defense. It feels like every single tower has a Springald emplacement here, making the raid so much less efficient.
Yeah, Springald emplacements are really solid. Ever since the change that happened to them, it increased the effective DPS, but made them weaker against high armor units. But essentially, this is just meaning that they're very good against everything now, except for cannons, bombards, that sort of thing. Yeah, for the moment, Mista's defense is looking really good. I'm loving his micromanagement. He's all over the map right now. 2 Men-at-Arms coming into the enemy wood lines. We saw a spearman just before. Knight running behind. This is where it starts to get so difficult. You can see that LucifroN was trying to get walls up, going for those greedy mid-map walls. But unfortunately, the hole has not been filled.
Relic 4 being picked up again. Those Men-at-Arms finding quite some kills. And it feels like the one at the bottom, the gold spot here, slightly right of our screen, that's the only gold income. So if Mista finds this, LucifroN is stuck in fuel age.
Now, he did open double scout, so he should know about it. Yeah, he does indeed know about this spot. And the Men-at-Arms fighting here against the Spearmen. It looks so funny to think that 2 men would be able to hold off 8, but I assure you they will be.
Oh, Men-at-Arms are just crazy against Spearmen. And yeah, trying to gang up on him, but he's ready to take the fight.
Look at him go. He's so solid, isn't he? He's got 5 armor there against the Spears. How much damage are those Spearmen putting out right now? They're putting out 9 damage. That's a fair amount of damage, actually.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to mess with those guys.
But look at more yellow dots streaming through the center, and he knows that's a good spot to raid.
Oh, that is painful right there. So many Men-at-Arms from Mista coming through. And take a look at the military count. Nearly right now, Mista is triple the amount. Quadruple the amount.
More stables being added here. 4 knights in the queue, but production won't be easy because look at the farm placement, pretty far to the front.
This is looking incredible from the Mista right now. Sure, he might be down 25 vils, but he's got those relics behind this. He's got 4 in the bag, just ticking away non-stop. And look at the resources. He's up to 1,600 food right now. He's thinking about imping.
Look at the destroyed value. 10k against 15k. TheMista just constantly more efficient, and he's going to slaughter more vils.
And just as we say that, LucifroN now looking to go to the next age. There's 0 villages on it right now. Where is that landmark going down? He's trying to build it in the base, but it's been discovered by TheMista. So he can rally everything towards this. There's no way this gets up. He's going to have to cancel, surely.
And he's sending more. Obviously getting some hits in would be really nice. And we see more villagers being sent, but not really continuing. It looks really good. And we have Palace of Swabia for Mista.
It's going to be a good game right there. Mista taking the first game against LucifroN. Beautiful play, Nilly.
Wow. And we said how good French are on this map, how calmly Mista defended. Masterclass.
That is absolute beautiful stuff right there from the Mista. You know, walking into this matchup, you are not a favorite at all as the Holy Roman Empire. And to think that he comes into an event like this against one of the best French players in the world. Wow. Wow.
We've seen LucifroN play French twice in the quarterfinals, won both his games on aggressive maps, really nice aggression. But Mista also, there was pressure on him, right? Because HRE was his pick #1, he needed a W.
All right, well, I guess next time we look at that water map, that's one less Holy Roman Empire pick for the Mista, isn't it? So that's one way to think about it. But I love the mind games that must have been going on there, because you come into that map and you've seen the meta out of that map so far. You're thinking about the Mongols. Both players are thinking about the Mongols. And so very happily we can see LucifroN says, hey, play the Mongols, I'll play the French. And Mista, I don't know what he was thinking. I guess he was like, hey, you can play the French, I'll happily play the Holy Roman Empire into you. And does it amazingly. So we're going to be heading to our next map. It's going to be Boulder Bay. Where do we go from here?
Well, it feels like Rus. At least we have felt like Rus have a really good opening. Mongols, some spearman aggression, tower rush. If you want to play some mind games, if you feel like, okay, I can take him off the pond, could have been an option as well. But I quickly wanted to also point out, we knew Mista crazy with his man-at-arms. After this game, I kind of see how LucifroN designed his draft and likes it even more, right?
Yeah.
Taking those 3 man-at-arms civs away from the Mista.
Yeah, it just makes a lot of sense. He really uses them quite effectively at the moment. And yeah, I think looking at his draft, obviously he's very limited on early men-at-arms, but hey, when he's got it, he used it quite effectively. But interesting to note, he didn't actually pull out early men-at-arms at all in that game. He was full spearman, full horseman, and then aged up and made men-at-arms. So he could have been playing any civilization. He wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah, against French, I think early men-at-arms don't make that much sense, right? So he adjusted to the civilization. And look at our beautiful set here.
Look at that armor right there for the farmer. He's a happy man.
Was that a rhyme intended? Armor for the farmer?
Oh yeah, yeah, interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. No.
Has the wolf there to support him. Mista, the weirdest setup.
Yes. Yeah, one of the things to note about the Mista, if you're tuning in for the first time and have never seen one of his streams or him broadcasting, his setup is very peculiar. Everything must be pixel perfect.
I called him a diva last time. I think even his screen was a bit higher, right? Did they put something under there?
Yeah, some coins, probably.
Yeah, that's what he did. Oh, but HRE looks to be a good civilization.
Oh, I'm getting excited. I'm getting super excited. I don't want to say it too loudly, but I think we're going to see something special here today, Nilly. I was speaking to the Mista last night.
Oh, boy.
He let me in on a little secret.
So, you aren't telling me Tower Rush.
No, no, no.
You aren't telling me...
Let's just say the hitboxes are about to get a little bit spicy. Oh, yeah. Don't worry. You'll see. You'll see.
That sounds like a riddle. So I'm like Batman now, trying to figure it out. The hitbox is about to get spicy.
You're just going to have a big question mark over your head asking, how is that happening? So I'm not going to talk too much about it because we might not actually see it. But if we do, I'll do my best to explain it. But yeah, last night, at the front of the hotel, Mista's out there with a cigarette in his mouth. Actually, had 2 cigarettes in his mouth because it's the Mista. And he just said, I'm letting you in on a little secret. Expect to see this. So we might actually see it.
And the first thing you do is talk about it on stream in front of thousands and getting all the credit.
It's all right. No, well, he's the mastermind. I'm just the guy who tells everybody how much of a mastermind this guy is.
Yeah, okay.
All right, well, we're diving into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Boulder Bay. This is the second game in the semi-final match. It's a best of 5 here between the Mista and LucifroN. Nilly, how are you feeling about this series so far? We saw a pretty crazy game in that first one.
I love game number 1 so much. Like LucifroN, so good with his French, and Mista with the crazy, crazy defense there. And kind of what we wanted to see, right? Lots of aggression and very strategic play. Mista showing us something there with the towers that we rarely see. And now LucifroN, he is looking to kill some deer, trying to deny the bounty from the Rus player.
All right, well, it's going to be an early dock out from the Mista, as you would expect. Can we take a look at the Mista's base? I want to double check and see what have we got over here. So it looks like no straggler trees have been taken. He's on with an early lumber camp, and of course, no hunting cabin coming out here. It's a little bit too expensive for a water map.
Where's the prelate hiding? See behind the wood line.
He's probably in LucifroN's base.
Oh, okay, that makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, there he is.
Hey-o.
There's the prelate. What were you doing out here? So we do see a straggler opening coming out from LucifroN, which is definitely my favorite opening. I think that the straggler opening is probably going to become very quickly the best opening, just simply because the walking distance from the town center, it's so small. It just makes sense to do.
Plus, if you're on sheep and the stragglers, your prelate can inspire both. Right. If your woodline is a bit further away, you need to micro a bit more, makes it a bit more tricky. And docks are pretty close next to each other, and we have seen something wild in LucifroN games when docks are maybe one screen away from each other.
Yeah, that's definitely an advantage for LucifroN. You know, when it comes to the way that he plays, he loves to rely on his macro to really let himself get ahead and build those leads. You know, you look at someone like Marine Lord, the way he builds his leads is through a lack of mistake. He waits for his enemy to make a mistake, he takes advantage, and he uses that as a lead. Whereas LucifroN, he says, I'm just going to be a better microer, and that's it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what LucifroN's got here and how this game unfolds, because I've got my suspicions it might actually be quite a quick one.
Really? So you and your plan.
Yes. Should I reveal a little bit more about what I think might happen here?
I don't think you should, because there might still be the potential that this game plays out in a different way and we might have the crazy plan for the finals.
Okay. All right.
And I'm pretty sure Beastie and Marine Lord aren't listening to you anyways.
That's a good point, yeah. I won't talk about the Wonder then.
The Wonder.
Oh, I shouldn't have mentioned the Wonder.
Oh, the big hitbox on the Wonder.
Yes, okay. Well, it looks like we've got ourselves a pretty interesting map gen here. It's quite open towards the north here. One of the things to note is that it's got a really large light blue area for the top of the bay. So keep in mind that that area can be traversed by both units as well as ships.
Yeah.
So that's something to take note of, because you can use that. If you're playing China, you can drop your Barbican on that.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, on this area. Okay, that's nice.
I'm not actually, now that you mention it, I'm not sure if you can.
Can Barbican shoot water and land?
Yeah.
Can, right?
Yeah.
Ah, true. That's Mongolian Heights. We always used to play Barbican in the center there.
Yeah. Exactly the same thing. All right. Well, now, another thing to note is that you'll see that the fishing boat difference is quite large at the moment. We've got 5 fishing boats for LucifroN and only 3 for TheMista. But TheMista's fishing boats are much stronger than LucifroN's. They gather faster and they do better things. So they're a bit more expensive, though, as well.
Just count them as double population.
Yeah. Essentially the same. Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, the age up's coming through. Mista with a very early age up right now. Take a look at this. He's aging up with 7 fills with the Golden Gate to the second age, and we are 4 minutes in, and he's already 30% through. I think we're going to see it, Nilly.
Not on gold at all, and he just dropped quite a lot of wood, so not unlikely that he's going for a second dock there. Pretty exposed gold in case we are going for some land aggression at some point.
Yeah, this is looking good at the moment. Keep in mind, LucifroN, he's got the age up about to come through, but look how far ahead Mista is. He's about 70% through this.
Okay, just explain the strategy, Drongo. I can't take it anymore.
All right, so there's going to be a very special villager that moves over to the enemy side of the map, and it's going to be very hard to attack that villager. We'll talk about it more as it goes on, but I can assure you it's going to be incredible to witness this in all of its glory. So the big thing that he's leaning into here is that he ages up right now at 4 minutes 50. Okay, to the second age, and immediately starts transforming some of his vessels. We take a look at the vessels right now. He begins moving them. He's got 2 that are now transforming into attack ships, into archer ships. And this is going to put out early aggression. LucifroN, he's not even halfway up to the next stage. That's how fast this attack strikes. At the same time, he's also producing an explosive Dow, which is going to mean that in the event that the enemy tries to respond here with a Hulk, with a springald ship, that it's going to get immediately evaporated. So I just want to check.
Oh, villager could go down.
Oh, this is huge. This is absolutely massive if this goes down right now. Oh, how did he miss? Did you see that? He missed it point blank. But it does go down. Nice little early victory for him. The age up still yet to come through from LucifroN. Keep that in mind, okay?
Wow.
So you take the age up and then add another 40 seconds to it. Looks like the dock does go up on the south side.
Double demo prepared. Oh, look at that. So many fishing ships going down. And this is, remember, this is the first pick for LucifroN.
Yeah.
This L could be massive.
Yep, this could be it. All right, well, it looks like we don't see the villager moving just yet at this point, but the age ups now come through.
Opens 1 galley, 1 Hulk.
All right, so I guess you'd consider that a pretty typical opening at this point. I'm still looking on the shoreline. Okay, it looks like the villager's now making the move up on that north shore. All right, here it goes. This is the villager right here. We talked about hitboxes earlier before, Nilly. It's important to remember that with a hitbox for a ship, it is very big. And the way that the arrow ships work at the moment is when they shoot all of their arrows off, it hits the first thing that it reaches a hitbox. So if you park one of your archer ships on top of that villager, it can repair the boat, but at the same time, your enemy can't kill it. He's got to be so careful, though. He's got to be so careful. It's just going to get focused down. He's not even paying attention right now. What's going on with that villager?
Cool story, bro.
Oh, that was a very cool story, bro. He just didn't get here in time, but the demo's going to be coming in, though, so he's going to be able to take that one out. Mista looking solid, but at the same time, a little bit of an early mistake. He might need to start thinking about moving another villager out. I can already see it on the minimap coming across. Think of the sheep, don't dare do that. But that beautiful block right there, did you see that?
For Galley still shooting away here. Demo can connect, but doesn't even need to. Look at that, he's trying to save it for a bit longer, still healing, and this is really tricky. And LucifroN, he's broken already.
Beautiful stuff right there from TheMista. That's going to be a very quick 2-0 from TheMista. Insane performance right there, Nilly. You didn't even need the villager.
It was just a straight-up crazy victory. Bruce build order absolutely to perfection there.
Yeah.
And that made it really, really tricky. HRE typically wants to go for a lot of fishing ships, but the distance is so short, and he couldn't really get to any army.
Absolutely beautiful stuff right there. Well,
look at him, look at him.
He is pumped up, isn't he?
Tractor, 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 tractor,
That's
tractor,
what he's
tractor,
thinking.
tractor.
Give me the tractor and the wedding. 2-0 in this semi-final already. That is a very quick 2-0 as well. Obviously, Boulder Bay plays out a bit faster than most maps, but that was what, 6 minutes, 7 minutes?
Something in that ballpark. LucifroN, his first pick and his home map.
Yep.
And down 0-2. Crazy uphill battle ahead of him.
So, does he go to 4 lakes here? Is that the best option for him?
Yeah. This is not pretty, right? Because, you know, like wetlands, prairie, TheMista will be prepared on those as well. And I think if I'm LucifroN, I think I play prairie here, just to get a more standard game out of us.
I feel like you got to play to your strengths, all right? You're known for your micro, you're good at it. You're wonderful on water. But it is going to be 4 lakes, but I know exactly what's coming up right now.
Which is?
It's going to be the Abbasid dynasty for TheMista.
And 4 pawns.
Exactly.
Full control.
All for him. Oh my
lord. What are we playing? Yeah, don't like. Oh, Drongo's already said that it's 3-0.
He's already
it is 2-0, Drongo. And we know that LucifroN is one of the best players in the world. Top 4 in the biggest Age of Empires tournament of all time. He's still prepared for months for this tournament. So I'm really excited to see what he has in store for us, because this was also his first pick, right? 4 lakes.
Yeah.
His first home map.
All right, well, hopefully he's got a strategy prepared for us. I guess the question is, what civilization does he look for here? Now, obviously, the Rus is the big standout, just simply because the villagers or the fishing boats don't have to return back to the dock to drop off. But there's other civilizations that could lend an advantage. The Ottomans also have cheaper docks, so you could start basically playing pseudo-Abbasid in that regard, trying to put them all around the map as much as possible. I think that actually might be a pretty wise choice as well.
Also, which I like with Rus on 4 lakes, you obviously try to prevent your opponent docking in your pawns.
Yep.
But if it somehow happens and you have fishing ships, you can just transition into some war army or like some army, and then can basically neglect it. After you clear it up, transition back to fishing ships. And it is as nothing happened. The only option, only Rus have that option.
All right, and it is going to be the Rus versus the Abbasid dynasty. So, as we expected, a difficult matchup. Now, we've seen Mr. play the Abbasid dynasty on this map before. He went for a peculiar strategy. Basically, he just went and took all 4 pawns and then did a timing push with crossbows together with more crossbows and more crossbows.
The thing is, it doesn't really matter what you go for, right? If you have 4 pawns against 0 pawns, your economy is just so much better. It's just ugly to play against that. You somehow then have to play in all-in on land, knowing that the economy, or hoping that the economy didn't really pay off for your opponent.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly it. It makes it so difficult to play when you don't have the water on a map like this, just simply because water also starts from a really early stage in the game. So you can be starting from quite literally 90 seconds into the game with that fishing boat, but I can see the players, they're looking pretty serious right now.
Let's do the math. So LucifroN beats Viper in 7 minutes on Boulder Bay. TheMista beats LucifroN in 6 minutes on Boulder Bay. So how long would be the game of TheMista against the Viper?
He man-at-arm rushes him, it's 2.5 minutes.
Okay, dock doesn't go up.
Oh, Mister. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are diving in now to game number 3 of your semi-final. This is a best of 5. We are on match point right now. Mister is up 2-0, and LucifroN needs to lift nearly.
And this is a good spawn here for LucifroN in the sense that it's pretty obvious who gets which pawn, right? It feels like the one in the north and the one in the west is for LucifroN. He more needs to contest the one in the north because he doesn't want to play the wild 4 pawn game. He wants to go into the stable game, maybe wall a bit more. And Abbasid Dynasty, we don't see them going for the massive TC play, right? So I think lots of Feudal Age army at least, or at latest, Castle Age army is on the menu.
All right, well, from TheMista, what do you think his opening wing is going to be? Because we did see last time he played, it was Culture Wing to open with into Military Wing. Do you think he looks to go for that same style, considering that LucifroN would have seen that game and he would know what's coming?
Yeah, but it looked so strong, right? What's the counter to it, though? I think, like, just getting all the upgrades 30% cheaper. You went for so many upgrades, and then going into Military Wing, it looked so strong. I don't know, like, if you even have the knowledge, yeah, you are like more inclined to think, okay, you're not going multi-TC.
Yeah.
But is there a direct, easy counter to it? I don't see it.
It's like the men-at-arms. You know they're coming, but are you going to stop them?
Not in Feudal.
And that's exactly it. But an interesting stat that we saw right there. So if you don't include the Malians, this is a matchup between the two lowest win rate civilizations. So I think at the moment, the Abbasid Dynasty have the second lowest win rate after the Malians. Then the third lowest win rate is the Rus. And I think it works out to be something like 16% for the Abbasid Dynasty and 20% for the Rus. It's
shockingly low.
Yeah, it's very, very low. But good news is that one of those civilizations will be moving forward in this game.
Yeah. Well, we just had Rus gaining some percentages.
True.
Right? And HRE dropping some.
Yeah,
They were one of the strongest. Obviously, both civilizations known to be designed about their multi-TC play, right? Rus, second TC, very strong civilization. Abbasid, even maybe 3 TC, pretty strong. Developers didn't like the heavy meta around the second and third TC games. Got a bit stale, meta a bit sleepy.
Yep.
And therefore, we had some changes, and now games feel more aggressive.
And can I just say what a good spawn this is for TheMista? If we take a look over at his pond on that right-hand side, the fish are very close to that starting dock. So typically, they used to be sitting in the back corner. I don't know whether they've been moved forward or to the front, but this is a really nice spot for him. And it means that he can take advantage of this Abbasid bonus and really start looking to dock up everywhere.
Yeah. Also at the bottom, it feels like one is super short if you wanted to go for it. The question now, second dock timings here, Drongo. It feels like obviously Mista with half the cost for his docks can go for it a bit earlier. LucifroN, I think he has to put some wood into the wood bank and try to save up a bit.
Yeah, I think you might be right, especially with the way that the dock works for the Rus. You're actually investing a lot more wood in your initial dock because the training time for your fishing boats, it's not directly reflective of the resources that you're invested. DLC Drongo, Abbasid are 3 and 12, 20%, and Rus are 3, 7, 30%. The stat guy. Oh, thank you, stat guy. Very, very kind of you. So there you go. Wow. Okay, so Rus are a little bit higher after that last victory. We'll allow it.
No one likes a smartass. Don't be stat guy.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, we start to see the walls coming down on the west side of the map, but at the same time, Mista already securing up his second pond.
Yeah, and also going here for the full wall off, and it seems to be more of a defensive game from what I see. Oh, but what is TheMista throwing at us?
Yep, he's throwing us a third dock.
Oh, this is getting tight.
Oh, I think he still gets it. Keep in mind the Rus walls were changed in the most recent patch. The last one, look at, he's moving for another one. But keep in mind, the Wolves will be okay, right? Because, there's so many things that are going on right now that are just advantageous.
Oh, it's late.
He gets it. He gets it. Oh, this is crazy when you think about it. So the Rus got nerfed in the most recent patch. Their walls take longer to build. In addition to that, Wolves have got a leash range now, which means that typically if you found 2 Wolves before with a villager, that villager died. But now she just gets to walk on by because they return back to their starting position like a boar would.
But LucifroN, way faster when it comes to Feudal Age here, so he can somewhat defend. Villager obviously won't find the kill. Mista, he could be a bit annoying, but I think LucifroN should be fine.
Yeah, this is...
At least in this pawn, right?
Yeah.
It's still like 2 safe pawns right now for Mista. Probably contested one at the top, slight contest at the left.
We do see it is Culture Wing also coming through for TheMista, by the way. So,
love it.
Yeah, he's once again looking to emulate that success, but I love his aggression here with these docks. And I think the question is, what direction does he go with this dock?
Oh, someone does not want a pond and a dock in his pond.
Get out of my pond. Look, honestly, this is by far the best decision he could make. And I know it sucks investing this much time and this much resources into taking out this dock, but you think about the consequences of this. If this dock comes up, okay, what's going to happen? He goes for an emplacement on that dock.
Oh, no.
And now you can't kill it. and then he gets an arrow ship out, so now you can't kill it on land.
Yeah.
And now he's just being annoying in your pond.
Okay.
So it's so smart for him to do this.
Yeah. The thing is, though, we're not on stone. So, Mr. But how can you scout that as LucifroN? Yeah. So it doesn't actually it feels like an overreaction, but makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Just gives him so much more safety as well.
Yes. Yeah. He's investing in the long term, but yeah, you can see the difference right there in the economy. This is huge. This is a wonderful win for TheMista. Just getting this in the first place.
75 wood.
Yeah.
Right, and some villager walking time against what seems to be like 10 villagers constantly being around here. Will finish the walls.
It's probably like 500 resources that he's just lost by having to take that down.
Yeah, we can do the math, right? 40 resources every single minute. If those 10 villagers, were away for a bit more than a minute, 500 resources gone. Sick.
Well, that's a good investment. That's a great ROI right there. Barracks coming down for TheMista. Early on in the feudal age, I guess it makes sense going up against the Rus. Very common to see they open up with a stable, go for those early knights, and obviously LucifroN is going to be doing that here. At the same time, another dock towards that north side. Still yet to go up, but once again, the villager making his way across. The consequence of running into those wolves with it, he just couldn't commit. You know, typically you can commit to the dock.
Oh, villager going back here as well. That's a bit surprising to me. Could have maybe tried to find another spot at the right side. Maybe he saw.
He knows the knight's coming.
Did he see the stable?
I think he spotted that at the stable. There's no way for us to 100% know, but we can see that he has once gone through that area.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, well, a little bit of a lull for the moment. A single deer stood. I'm not sure if you saw that up towards that north pond, just remaining unharmed for the moment. Poor little guy.
10 more gold for LucifroN and some more direction into better bounty. Oh, we go into the multi-TC play. Mr. now confirming knights, confirms the archery range. So LucifroN going for kind of both.
Yeah.
Extra town center and some military. Typically you can't afford that, but with the fishing ships, your economy simply better than your average economy in 8 minutes into the game.
Correct, yeah. The one thing that concerns me out of this is that you've got Mr. over on the southeast side of the map. He's got double pond, uncontested. His economy is massive. He's also thinking about expanding up to that west pond. So you can basically think of this as like opening with 3 TCs at the very beginning of the game. So now Mister's going to just ramp in acceleration as he goes towards that castle age. And there is a huge window for him to climb through to take out LucifroN.
Spearman, beautiful positioning again. We saw that already in game 1. How actively Mister's defending. And he's not even like only sitting in his wood line. He's always like 5 tiles out of it. And LucifroN, if he just wants to scout, if he wants to take a look, if he can raid, he's already eating some lances in his face. Yeah,
it's very, very oppressive what he's doing. But even the walls on the south side, just to prevent that knight from coming through. Look at him. Surround, that's it.
And Spearman, look at that. Oh, beautiful defense.
Really, really solid there. Keeps all the villagers alive, takes out the knight. You couldn't ask for a better defense right there.
Yeah, really impressive. So far, 0-0 villager. KD finally goes for that deer. Quite an overkill there. 7 arrows flying.
He didn't need to, but you know, you just want to confirm it. All right, well, at the moment, the villager population looks to be pretty even, but keep in mind the tempo's definitely with TheMista.
Don't want to lose that scout.
Oh, the villager does go down, though. That knight doing a decent job. Look at all the sheep following him. He's really committed, isn't he?
Mr. by the way, got lots and lots of upgrades after he got to feudal age, right? Everything is 30% cheaper for him. And he's flirting with castle age quite heavily. And LucifroN, yeah, you have early knights, but they're way worse than royal knights if you get chivalry. And therefore, I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. just goes wild, like triple, quadruple barracks.
Yep.
And then like men-at-arms, spearmen, and some siege?
And add in crossbows. Crossbows are really important. And we do see now archery range, barracks. This is it. This is the timing push. You know, I talked earlier about that window, the idea that, you know, sure, on the other side of the map, LucifroN is going for a second town center. It's not going to be able to hold. Not against this. The timing is just absolutely fierce.
And if we think about it, like second town center, relatively speaking, it's not that good, right? If we count like wild scenario, dock is worth like a town center.
Yes.
Then we already have 3, now against 4 for LucifroN. So relatively speaking, the increasement of the economy isn't that big.
Right, exactly. And the whole time, TheMista's 3 effective town centers have been working since the very beginning of the game, whereas LucifroN's only just put his down very recently. So it means that he's not going to be achieving that desired goal of scaling or outscaling his enemy.
Abbey of Trinity, 14 visitors there, really wanted to get castle age as well. it's really important that LucifroN gets onto a proper amount of sprinklets here, I feel.
Yeah, the very first thought I've got is it's like you've got to go for springlets here. Even for mangonels yourself, just to deal with the crossbows, I wouldn't be surprised if we just start to see, crossbow mass versus crossbow mass with large mangonel
barracks. Maybe he saw that many spearmen, feels like, okay, man-at-arm defense could make some sense, but this is his first barrack, I believe.
All right, well, up to the north, that scout does go down. A couple of sheep remaining. Potentially. Oh, nice little quick wall coming in just then, but unfortunately not going to be quick enough.
Archers around, though, against the spearmen. Okay, now we reach Castle Age. Could go for some bigger siege. Lots of food floating, queuing up crossbows and men-at-arms. There's going to be a massive attack out of our Greece player.
Yeah, this is huge. And keep in mind, he's got plenty of food in the bank to start spending on units, and it's going to start rolling towards the Rus player. And even if this does go late, well, I think you'd still rather favor the Abbasid over the Rus. So it starts to get really difficult for LucifroN. He's just got to try and outscale. We can see he is getting there with that second town center, another 6 villager advantage for him. But the question is whether he's going to be able to survive this timing attack that's coming in.
Just compare queues. 1 spearman, 1 warrior monk against 3 men-at-arms, 3 crossbows, goes for camels, soon more siege coming up. Like, Mr., it's 20 versus 24 now.
Yeah.
I think in like 2 minutes, it would be like 30 against 60.
Yeah, look at it. Already, look at it. We're up. Boy! Oh, my lord. A little bit of a swing and a miss right there. That was close, nearly.
Ooh, surviving for now, those archers. And that was not a lot of damage, right?
No.
You say mangonel? It's more like boygonel.
Thanks, Nelly. Thank you. That was beautiful. All right, well, the warrior monk is now out on the field looking to pick up those relics. He's got a nice safe one down here on the south side. A couple more down here as well, which he should be able to pick up. In fact, he should be able to pick up all of these relics right now.
Yeah. Like, there is the push in this direction, right? So 2 relics are behind it. But certainly the 2 at the bottom could go. But look at that. The push is coming into the direction of the Abbey of Trinity. So even picking them up,
yep,
not going to be easy to hold them.
And Nilly, look at the military population right now. It's 27 versus 45. Because keep in mind, he gets an extra 4 population for the siege. Now the mangonel firing off. Oh, it's looking good. Oh, damn. How does he fire that far? That's a long-range mangonel. Tries to get the shot off.
Low HP, though, goes pretty deep into the town center, but Mangonel is getting okay shots in.
Pretty decent shots right there. We're starting to see a decent number of units now coming through for the Mista as well. Crossbows on the back line, firing off underneath the town center. Mangonel going to be going down, taken out by the town center, but he's got a beautiful little pocket in here. If there's ever been a way to defend, it's against something like this, or with a pocket like this. It's perfect. Villagers now getting pulled to heal up the Springle, but look at the numbers coming through. Battering ram on the front side, also starting to work through the infrastructure. Villagers in the town center could be popped out to deal with it. At the same time, this crossbow mass and archer mass is living long, but LucifroN's starting to look a little bit worrisome. Take a look at the military population. He's down to 13.
Oh, this will be a tough hold for him. Mista looking to get into the finals.
This could be it right here. Mista is up 2-0 in this series. This is game number 3, match point. And he's looking incredible. Look at this. The unit count continues going down. He's down to 8 units right now. Mista's timing push is absolutely immaculate. Did LucifroN not do the research? Did he not know that this was coming? Surely he knew.
And what were his answers? He was later to Castle Age, right? In Abbasid, they are so good at instantly producing everything. The extra docks helped out so much, and now the second town center under so much pressure. Soon 3 rams knocking at the front door.
This is absolute insane pressure by the Mista, and this is what he notoriously does. He does not let up. The pedal is to the metal, and he is holding it down as hard as he can. Look at the units streaming across the map right now. He is trying to take him out, focusing down on this town center. And keep in mind, this is the way for LucifroN to get back into this game. If he wants to scale, he wants to reach the late game. We can see right there, LucifroN a little bit, he's starting to feel it. I just saw him scratch the nose right there.
Oh god, the ram just took a detour. Town center's now being attacked, really low in HP. Villager advantage basically gone for LucifroN, and military is looking brutally in favor for Mista.
This is not looking good. The town center does go down, and with that, Villager is going to be forced to evacuate. And that is the advantage that LucifroN had that is gone right now. The whole reason he went for this strategy was to get that second town center up, and unfortunately he gets pushed to the edge. So he's down on 10 military population at the moment. Compare that over to the 43 of the Mista. Mista looking incredible in this game, and he continues pushing down. Battering rams moving through, not having any traffic issues there. Look at that perfect surround. Oh, and never mind. He's honking his horn. You can see that, Nilly, can't you?
LucifroN fully pushed away from wood here. Will be tough to get more production, and he's sitting under the production. Mista just looking for the kill here. Now goes for the wooden fortress. Soon more villagers exposed.
And I think we might have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mista looking very solid right here as the outpost goes down, and you can see LucifroN sitting back in his chair. The sacred site's being captured, but it's not going to mean anything right now. Mista heads through to the grand final. finals, Nelly.
Let's go! He is taking it, and he is so happy. Obviously, a massive, massive victory. Someone that doesn't want to invest too much time or can't invest that much time, but he's so really into gaming, going to the grand finals later tonight.
I've got a feeling there's going to be a new tractor, Nelly.
New tractor confirmed.
New tractor
Let's see if he can afford to.